Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another video. And wanted to, since we're getting heading into 2026, just wanted to take a look at. Well, it's another rant, but it's just regarding about once again how Hollywood has run out of ideas. You know, regurgitating the same thing over and over again, whether it's used up ideas that we've seen before, or more sequels that we don't need, more remakes that we don't need, etc. Right? Just naming a few. I'm not. Just I'm not gonna name all of them. Because there's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of films in 2026 that I'm gonna be ranting and raving about how boring this is, how bland it is. It's just a generic idea now. So you're all going to see that in 2026. But I'm just pinpointing. I just picked three films. Just signifies how bland and boring, and let alone, like I said, to keep it regurgitating, especially on franchises alone and stuff we've seen before. Oh, the really quick, a while back, I was planning to do a video of this along with talking about when the trailer came out for Anaconda, which is already out right now. Which that's really quick. Just like I know Amara hate the film because, like I said, I saw the trailer a while back and to me it looked like garbage. I mean, once again, I'm tired of seeing Jack Black. And which they're poke funning at the first one. So hey, let's remake Anaconda in the movie. They're saying this, and yeah, you bring in Ice Cube in because hey, he was an Anaconda. I mean, the film itself. I know I saw the trailer, but I know the film looks like shit anyway. Because, like I said, I'm tired of seeing Jack Black. I think he's just not funny no more. And I'm also starting to get tired of Paul Rudd as well. I really am. But the Anaconda film looked like crap. If I do, I know I'm gonna rant on that film. So I hope one day be ready for that though. But I'll give the details why though. But I'm just giving a sample what I would have talked about that trailer if I was planning on doing this type of video though. But in 2026, okay. Speaking of with sequels, the trailer came out like about over a month ago, and so it's another franchise which all these type of franchises needs to stop. But no, as long as they keep making money, that's the thing, the bottom dollar. But it's another franchise that's has overstayed its welcome. Which we don't need no more. Scream 7, right? I mean, Scream 7, it's just, to me, the only good ones is the first film and the third film. I mean, I wasn't really big on this. I wasn't really big on the second film. The second film I thought was weak, right? But I would say I'd rather take the second film over the rest of the sequels afterwards. I don't like Scream 4. Sadly, that was Wes Craven's last film, though, before he passed, though. But I don't like Scream 4. Rest in peace to him, though, but I don't like Scream 4. I hated Scream 5, and I hated Scream 6 the most. So yeah, 5 and 6 are the ones I hate the most in that series. And now with Scream 7, and they're bringing David Arquette back. I mean, was it come back as a hallucination like in 5 and 6? What they're doing with Skeet Ulrich, right, as Billy Loomis? Are they bringing him back as a ghost as well? I mean, it already pissed me off how when they killed off Dewey in the fifth one, which how a woman who's like 50 pounds lighter than him can overpower him and kill him, which that just pisses me off though. But yeah, that was one of the big things I hated about Scream 5 is how they killed off Dewey. But yeah, they're bringing him back because what? As a ghost, an illusion in someone's mind. So they did that with Skeet Ulrich, who's supposed to be the father of the girl, the lead girl, who's the father, his daughter. Because how else are you gonna bring him back, right? And they're bringing back Nev Campbell back and Nick Courtney Cox. You know what? Just Courtney Cox didn't do jack shit in the last one. All right. At that point I was totally fine if they would have killed her off though, but not David Arquette though, but I was because Courtney Cox didn't do jack shit in the last one, all right, and there is a reason why Nev Campbell didn't come back in the last one, but they probably coaxed her into coming back in this one now. And I guess she has a kid. You know what? I was which I guess some fans were disappointed that it wasn't the father. She didn't marry Patrick Dempsey's character in the third film because I like Patrick Dempsey. I thought her and Cindy had some kind of chemistry though, but that's not the case. I guess sad to say though. But and then Matthew Lillard. I'm like, there's a scene in the trailer where you're when they're here when we hear in the voice, right? I'm guessing that's Matthew. You know they do this all the time where they think, oh, it's him, right? He's the they always pull like this all the time, right? You know where they fake us is thinking, oh, it's he's back, you know, he's doing he's come back as Ghostface, and that's probably him as the voice of Ghostface on the other end, and they pull us all the time, you know, and they make us believe that it's this one person, but it turns out it's actually this other person, right? And plus, once again, like how they bring Stu back, right? Because after Cindy threw a TV right on his face and got electrocuted, right? What, somehow he survived being electrocuted to the face, especially all the glass hitting of the TV hitting his face too as well. You know, I just like how they always keep bringing dead characters back for bullshit. They do this all the time in sequels. You know, it's like with those Universal Soldier movies, right? They keep bringing in Dolph Lundgren's character back, Andrew Scott. You know, they bring him back for bullshit, despite he got chopped to pieces in the first movie. You know, that grinder. They always do this in other characters. So they die, they come back. They always, you know, the thing is, stop bringing characters back for bullshit. You know, okay? Yeah, it's a style. Yeah, it's nostalgia. You know, and it's like, you know, I met Matthew Lillard at the last GalaxyCon, right? I didn't bother bringing up Scream 7 because I'm there to see. I was there to meet how he was good as Stu in Scream, and then with as Shaggy's in Scooby Doo. Yeah, how was good. You know, working with the late Wes Craven. You know, I didn't bother asking Scream 7 because I'm not gonna talk about bull crap like that though. But they always it's like somehow they're always gonna bring him back. It's gonna be Matthew Lillard back. I don't know. And the whole trailer for Scream 7, it looked like shit anyway. I mean, I guess the house though that Stu was living in the first movie, like, because they came back, they they visited that house again in the fifth film, right? And so it was supposed to be like a tourist house because they have an animatronic ghost face there, but the real one shows up, kills the couple. Like, I guess somehow he got tossed off the balcony, lands and face down on the floor, but he's all right though. Because that's supposed to be the antics with Ghostface. You know, they beat up Ghostface, they like these pratfalls and stuff like that. But I guess somehow when he falls to the balcony, like a second story balcony, face down, but the person's still alive. And yeah, the girl, she falls to the balcony and lands and goes and turns around like this with the blade and sets the house on fire now. And so and the whole trail looked like garbage anyway. You know. And then they bring once again the guy who voices Ghostface over the phone, right? You know, what's your favorite scary movie and all that? What was it, Roger L. Jackson, something like that? I mean, the guy has to get tired of doing the same over the since 1996 all the way up until now, like 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. 96 to 2026, 30 years. Sure, the guy has got the guy. His voice is tiring doing the same voice, you know. Then we see Nev Campbell. We see Courtney Cox again. I guarantee Courtney Cox not gonna do jack shit either in this movie either. And they bring it. Listen, how are they gonna bring David Arquette? They have to bring David Arquette back as a ghost for bullshit like they did with Skeet Ulrich, right? And once again, I don't care about um I don't think Jenny Ortega is coming back, which, you know, Wednesday, because I think she was doing Wednesday for. I think she was filming season 2 of Wednesday when this was being filmed. So I don't know if she's coming back. And well, so yeah, is the other two is the older sister who was the lead in the first two movies come back? I forget though, but I wouldn't care, right? Because I didn't care. I, I didn't care about the either of those two in this and the both 5 and 6 either, so I didn't give a shit about them. But yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. I think it's the lead girl from 5 and 6, who was the older sister of Jenna Ortega, but she's not coming back in that. Jenna Ortega's not coming back in this film because I think, like I said, at the time she was filming season 2 of Wednesday, which I prefer her as Wednesday because I think that's the only good thing that Jenna Ortega was good at is Wednesday. So I didn't care about her in these new Scream sequels. I didn't care about her. I wasn't really big. I actually did not like Death of the Unicorn, so that's also had Paul Rudd in it. So to me, the only good thing that she was good as Wednesday. But Scream 7, 7 films already, and in the span of since the first movie that was 1996, 30 years. Jesus criminy, man. Do people know? Of course, there's gonna be fans who are looking forward to these, of course, though. But as people who, like me, though, are tired of seeing these sequels that just expanded for this amount of time. This series has been expanded for 30 years. It's like the Halloween movies need to stop making any more Halloween movies. Stop making more Scream movies. As long with the other franchise, like no more Predator movies, no more Alien movies, including the new TV show which I saw, Earth Alien, how Alien Earth, wherever they call that alien show. Stop it! I saw the first 2 episodes. They were shit. Okay. Stop with the Alien franchise. Stop with the Predator franchise. Stop with these any of these slasher franchises. All right. Ay vey, man. And so yeah, so fuck Screen 7. I know I'm already not gonna like it. Given my recent hatreds of 5 and 6. Because I did review all those series up until before this though, but fuck Screen 7. Another one I thought was another bullshit film one that's gonna be absolute dog shit. That's the 2026 live action remake of Disney's Moana. I know that already sparked a lot of hatred from fans. I mean, come on. By 2026, it would have been 10 years since they did the first Moana animated. 10 freaking years. Well, it came out in November 2016, so, and this one's coming out in July. So, but still, same year, 2026, 2016, 10 years, okay? It doesn't matter. They're already doing a live action remake of that within 10 years. I know. And How to Train Your Dragon was 15 years. 2015, 2010, right? 15 years. They're already, and by after, and that's been also like 6 years after the third How to Train Your Dragon came out, and also, and it would already be in 2024 when Moana 2 came out. They just came out with Moana 2 in 2024. They made over $1 billion, and now like 2 years later they're already doing a live action remake. I know that's and a lot of people hated the trailer as well, because of its of just the live action people, mostly just animated background green screens. If you didn't have the people in it, including the girl who plays Moana herself, this is all but it would have been exactly like the Lion King 2019 remake. It's live action, right, but it's animated at the same time, fully animated at the same time. Photorealistic CGI. Bullshit my ass, right? Okay. That's one. It's like the 2019 live action The Lion King, right? You just take out the people and take out Moana, the girl who plays Moana, and then you have like a live action version, a live photo realistic live action of Moana. Yeah, like it's especially a lot of people are hating that trail because of that, because how crappy the CGI is. Especially, at Disney, with all this money they spend, they sink millions and millions of dollars to get this. Is it just me, or is it each year when they do these movies, they sink millions of dollars into? Why is it the CGI always look so shit? It is like what with the Snow White remake. The CGI looks like shit. With all the more money you spend on a digital effects, it's supposed to be better, not worse. You know, it's just pathetic. That all this horrible CGI for these live action remakes, it makes the animation, the 2D, especially the 2D animation from the old days, like from the original Snow White, or even from the 90s, like Tarzan and Hercules, Mulan, The Little Mermaid, from the Beauty and the Beast from the Renaissance movies from the late 80s to the 90s. It makes a whole lot of much better compared to the live action shit we get today. It just blows my mind. Millions of dollars wasted. You know? And especially, it's like I said, it's coming out 10 years after the first Moana came out, let alone just not even 2 years when the second Moana came out. It just shows desperation, that Disney's always, because Disney's been having a lot of failures recently, If it wasn't for the Lilo and Stitch remake, which to me it should have bombed anyway, but if it wasn't for that Lilo and Stitch remake and Zootopia 2, making over $1 billion worldwide, the top movies of 2025, because they've had a lot of failures of the past few years. And this year too, with Snow White, Tron Ares, which I saw that looked like it was a lame sequel. Definitely a very lame sequel. That was a huge bomb as well. So that's another failure for Disney. Another in millions lost. Especially the Snow White, which the cost way more than Tron Ares. Tron Ares, it was a Tron movie basically with no Tron in it because of the name only, because of the stuff that's in the movie. So yeah, so they had a mixture of success and failure at the same time this year. If it wasn't for Zootopia 2 and Lilo and Stitch, they would have had another year of another year of failure, another year of fails. And I know, and so it makes me wonder, since this trailer, this first teaser trailer got shit canned so much, makes me wonder if this Moana live action remake. Oh, Dwayne Johnson's coming back once again. The film got a lot of hatred, especially when people who saw the CGI of Maui transform that look like a video game cut. Doesn't matter. It's like another live action of The Lion King from 2019. I probably say it's not going to do. I probably say all the bad reviews it's getting right now. Probably it won't be successful. Although I was I was kind of proven wrong on one thing. One film that got a lot of hate, but yet it was somehow successful. What was it? There was a film that got a lot of hate for its trailer, but ended up becoming successful. What was it? Shit, I forgot now. It was a film that got a lot of hates, but now I forgot now. I forgot. I remember the trailer when it first came out. It got a lot of hate, but ended up becoming a success. Forget what it was now. So yeah, the Moana 2 probably maybe it'll make money, or it'll be a failure. Especially from the first trailer, it got a lot of hate, so maybe it'll fail though. Because the thing is though, Snow White, it was already a failure long before it even got out the gate. Because all the controversy, especially from that idiot Rachel Zegler, that moron, all the controversies it was going through, and especially how the way the CGI, especially the going on about the dwarves and all that stuff, it was already failure long before it came out in theaters. So who knows? But it's another example of like, 10 years they already did a live action remake of Moana, and not even 2 years after the second Moana came out. It just screams desperation, you know? And so, and then it comes down to like one that's just another looks like another bland, boring, generic, definitely another lame movie, especially with a lame title. It's coming out in a couple. It's gonna be coming out in a couple weeks, and it's called Killer Whale. Basically, to put it simply, it's basically they just took the whole idea of The Shallows with Blake Lively. Instead of a great white, they put a killer whale in. That's basically what it is. They basically did a remake, or they took the whole idea of The Shallows, basically is swapping the great white for an orca. That's basically what it is. So, like I said, taking other ideas. So it's not. I always say it's not a remake, but they just took the idea from another movie and just swap out a different creature. Oy vey. That's basically what they've done. Freaking made me spill myself because of this. All the hatred I'm spewing made me spill my freaking milk. Yeah, usually a lot of times when I drink out of the red cup, it's milk. So yeah, and it stars with this girl. It was Virginia Gardner. She was a girl. She was the girl from the new Halloween movies. I think she was the the granddaughter of Jamie Lee Curtis. Because I think because she's a blonde in this film. So I mean, it's like well, instead of one person by herself like Blake Lively was from The Shallows, except it's these two girls. We see a guy get eaten, right? And so they had to make it to the rocks because of the tides, just like Blake Lively did had to go to the rocks, and they had to try to find a way to survive. And also and the horrible green screen in the background, and with this horrible remix song of "Do You Want to Hurt Me?" I mean, which that song does not fit in a film about a killer whale at all. Do you really want to make me cry? Horrible remix of that song. I mean, there's certain remixes of songs I like that I've seen in films though, but this is not one of them. Especially that type of song does not fit the film. About a killer whale wants to kill these two girls. Do you really want to hurt me? I mean, jeez. And we see the girl, one of the girls, the short hair brunette. You can tell because the trailer edits it though, but it looks like she got her leg bitten off. Where we were seeing the wide shot of her, what the SOS in the sand. You see blood, which they edited the color of it, but she got her leg bitten off, clearly. And so, but you just take it. You just basically just take in the whole idea of The Shallows, which I enjoy. The Shallows. I think Blake Lively did a good job. Blake Lively, he was the wife of Ryan Reynolds. She did a good job. There was like character moments I liked, especially when she had this little bonding moment with this injured seagull, which she calls Steven. Yeah, it's Steven Seagal. I thought that was kind of funny though. And hey, the seagull survives. Like she put it on the broken surfboard and she let it go drift in the water, but the seagull survived. Okay, and I thought it was a different way to kill the great white instead of just generically just blowing it up, right? No, she kind of outsmarted by dragging herself down to the bottom of the ocean floor, and she gets out of the way at the last second, and then the shark impales itself on these sharp metal rods at the bottom. Okay, that's a different way to kill the gray white instead of just blowing it up generically, and we see it in every single movie. Well, except Jaws 2, it was electrocuted. But I didn't. What's just funny about probably say this is they say this is like an actual film about a killer whale, right? that attacks people, because they say, oh, killer whales never attacks people out in the open water. Which, yeah, there's records on record saying there has been no attacking people out in the wild, except maybe great white sharks, which is their arch nemesis. But that's it though. But it's just funny that what people make fun of nowadays, which people they say is laughable, which to me I think is a much better movie. Obviously, a much better movie than this. The 1977 film Orca, the killer whale, Orca, from Dino De Laurentiis, and starring Richard Harris. Now that film was about a whale, a killer whale getting revenge, and that played that part well. How where Richard Harris intentionally kill its mate because it was going for the male orca instead though, but accidentally killing its mate, and then the baby falls out, and he goes and washes it off his ship off into the water, and the baby dies, and the male orca wants revenge. That took that play on revenge of an animal getting revenge well, and people call that film laughable and a Jaws ripoff, but I liked it. My dad actually saw that in the theater back in the day in '77. My dad saw that. Man, my dad saw that in the theater. I think it was with his dad. I think I was. I could be wrong, but I know my dad told me he saw that in the theater though. But that was film that's considered a Jaws ripoff, and people say that's a laughable movie. But it did that. But it did the part on revenge quite well, And I like Richard Harris. Before who was the first Dumbledore from the first two Harry Potter movies. And so I liked Orca. I'll probably say it's definitely a lot better movie than this. But this is about another film about a killer orca whale. And plus they did a lot of stuff for real actual effects, or the good effects on the whales, and some practical stuff, like on the ships being destroyed, on the ocean, on the up into the Arctic where they go to. Um, Richard Harris's character, can you ever commit a sin in killing an animal? And he's just like, okay, you win. Oh, you win, you win. I'll fight you, you revengeful son of a bitch. So yeah, but that's film that did that film a lot better. But here, they just basically just stole the idea from The Shallows and just putting an orca instead of a great white. And I said that I like Blake Lively's character than these two women here. And I probably guarantee you probably the the blonde girl Virginia Garner, she's the one that's gonna make it, and her friend is not gonna make it. The one who clearly see who got her leg bitten off. She'll probably do a self-sacrifice, probably to let the blonde girl escape, probably, or they're gonna end up some way, a clever way or unclever way to kill the whale. Well, the thing is, that's a hard thing to do because since orca is one of the most powerful animals in the world, and let alone intelligent. So that's another example of how Hollywood is run. That's another example of how Hollywood has run out of ideas as well in that aspect on this film as well. So yeah. I don't want to go on too long on this though, but just like I'm just naming examples. I'm not. I know there are other films I've looked down the list as I know I'm gonna be ranting on though, but I'm just making an example like just more sequels, more remakes, and let alone taking other ideas that it's not gonna work. That's it just shows us how much they've run out of ideas. That's the thing. I've said this over the years how they can't make anything original. They just have to basically either copy or paste or just remake or just extend the franchise that for another 30 years like Scream has, 96 from 2026. 30 years, which is like, come on. Stop with the franchises. Just because we can't come up with anything original nowadays, can we? So, but yeah, just like Scream 7, Moana, this film Killer Whale, which is a bland title. Killer Whale. Because it's an orca, another name for killer whale. Also, it's just a killer whale. A whale that kills. Yeah, I don't look forward to any of these, you know. Of course not. Of course I don't look forward to any of these. I'll be for next year. I'll be looking for more diamond. I'm sure the ones of films I like are more diamonds in the rough type of movies. Because like this year, I consider these films I like are diamonds in the rough. So I like Magazine Dreams. I liked Novocaine. I like Companion. Um, I even like the Looney Tunes film, The Day the Earth Blew Up, and I like Hard Eyes, Strange Harvest. I mean, all these films were not big hits. Okay, these films were not hits at all. I'll stick to those movies because I like a lot of the ideas behind them and some of the actors and characters I liked. You know, but some of these are it says some of these are a lot better than these big hits. You know, because they make money because they're part of the franchises. So, but whether it's Disney, they've been losing money, but all these other franchises need to stop, you know. But the thing is, as long as they keep making money, that's why they keep. As all these things to keep on making money, that's what's keeping these series afloat and keep making more sequels or remakes because of money. That's why. Like I said, time and time again over the years, you know, and a lot of times I've proven right about this stuff, you know. But yeah, so this is my thoughts. This ranting on this a ranting vlog, you know, more on trailers, and then of course other films in general. But I know there's a lot of movies in 2026. I know I'm not gonna like, just besides the ones I mentioned. But I know that also I'm not gonna list all of them. I'm just simply going by from the trailers, you know, as well. So, but yeah, but thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time. Later.